I'm not gonna lie, the simple fact that this man spent 92 days in jail. Learn how to be open-minded and have all the evidence before you make a opinion. Who embarrassed me for being my people? Information is the biggest, most expensive thing on planet Earth. Tolerance is a dangerous thing because once you become a very tolerant person, then you allow anything. What it is, what it ain't, it's your boy Carlton with another video for anything, everything, where I talk about anything I want and everything that comes to my mind. And today, doing a reaction video to Andrew Tate's interview with Patrick Bet-David. And this video has only been up for a day and it's at 5.7 million views. So obviously a lot of people wanted to hear what Andrew Tate has to say in regards to, you know, his jail experience and everything else that's going on with his life, the comments people have to say about him, whether the people that agree with him or the people that disagree with him. So obviously it's a lot to talk about. And me, I have my own opinions. I don't agree with everything Andrew Tate says. There are some things he says that I do agree with, but in a scope, I'll just listen to, you know, the interview. I've heard parts of it already, but I'll finish it out here in this video. It is 4 hours, so I'm gonna just chop it up. I'm not gonna do a video for 4 hours, probably around 30 minutes or so. But the good news is in the comment box, it is separated. It shows us, okay, it has, you know, this section he talks about this section he talks about that, whatever. So yeah, let's get into it.
So a lot has changed since the last time we sat down with Andrew Tate. Last time we sat down with him, you were the most Googled man on earth. Today, effective last 2 days, you are now the most Googled woman on earth.
Correct.
According to your Twitter profile.
Correct.
And
I forgot he said that.
we wanted to make sure after the BBC interview, you made certain requests.
Yeah.
You said you want, moving forward, there to be a $50,000 fee when people sit down to do an interview. So we wanted to make sure the ESG score for this interview would be very high. We got you a $50,000 Target gift card.
I appreciate that very much.
For people in America will appreciate
I need
that.
a whole new wardrobe.
And then
Yeah.
you also said cookies. So Adam got you some
Box of
Tate
chocolate.
cookies.
Amazing.
To make sure
Yes.
we match that. And then we
One
did,
for your brother as well, I
we
believe.
did bring a Bud Light,
Yes.
but unfortunately, Vinny finished it on the way here. Vinny, you know,
That boy's
we
chilling
I'm already
hard.
a girl. I don't need Bud Light.
yeah, so we respect that. So, but anyways, look, a lot's obviously changed from last time to this time. Last time we sat down was around 9 months ago.
Yeah.
You had, at the time, been deplatformed from every social media platform. We came out here, we sat down, we spoke. The Matrix was attacking you. You were saying, Matrix attacking me, Matrix attacking me.
Yep.
From then on, Musk buys Twitter in October.
Yep.
He then reinstates you.
Correct.
In 1 day, I believe you get 1 million followers on Twitter. You're upwards of 7 million today.
Yep.
Every other account's taken down. I think even Tristan was taken down off of Instagram.
Yep.
And then, you know, the arrest comes, the lover boy, all these articles.
Yep.
And Vice releases the hit piece on you guys. You know, they're saying what they're saying, and I'm sure we're going to get some comments on that.
Yep.
The initial 30-day lockup was extended twice, 92 days in the dungeon.
Yep.
We had a chance to speak with one of your lawyers, Tina Glandian, on...
I'm not gonna lie, the simple fact that this man spent 92 days in jail and he wasn't formally charged tells you in which direction society is going. And the fact that people are able to hate this man and have all these different type of opinions about him but don't necessarily attack that in the way they just literally violated a man's rights is astonishing. Those are the type of people we gotta watch out for. You can disagree with what he says, but the simple fact that his rights was violated and he was just kidnapped essentially, it's crazy.
February 24th was a great conversation we had with her. Then eventually you're released, you and your brother come out and you specifically make it clear that you did 7,417 push-ups.
Correct.
Very impressive. You received letters from thousands of fans. You read the Quran on a daily basis.
Yep.
At no point was any charges, anything official charge. It was all allegedly.
Yeah.
And while you were away, a new star was born, Dylan Mulvaney, which I'm sure you're familiar with. From there on, a lot of comments were made. Comments of people that supported you, comments of people that didn't support you.
Yeah.
Logan Paul said by 2023, he will not have a sliver of relevance, is what he said. KSI said Andrew Tate snitched on himself after getting racial by Greta Thunberg.
Yeah.
Destiny said Andrew Tate has been arrested for rape
I can't
charges
stand
in
that
a
Destiny
country
guy.
he specifically lives in to avoid rape charges because he was beefing with a autistic child on the internet. I think he's referencing the great Greta.
Yep.
Matt Bernstein advocated to get you kicked off of Instagram.
Sure.
And he's part of the Blue Pill community, a big famous makeup artist.
Yep.
Ethan Klein said, and that's why I call him Andrew, the human trafficker. He sent me a cease and desist threatening to sue me for defamation for saying he's a human trafficker.
Yeah.
What else am I supposed to call someone that buys and sells human beings after their will? Tate, the human trafficker. NBC in January 2023 said Andrew Tate said he broke a woman's jaw and that his business was a scam ahead of Romanian charges.
Yeah.
Rolling Stone said, meet Andrew Tate, ex-kickboxer, red-pilling the angry young men of America. These are people that didn't support you.
As far as the people that don't support him, like, again, I have no problem with people having their opinions, but when you state certain things, it needs to be the rule of to provide evidence for it. It needs to be common courtesy. It needs to be the standardized practice that if you have a claim against someone, that you have to have some sort of evidence to solidify whatever claim or opinion you have. I realize a lot of people that has certain opinions against everybody. Andrew Tate, Trump, Joe Biden, it don't matter. I'm not just for one particular side. I have strife against everybody. Everybody has a role that they're playing. And I realize a lot of people just repeat what they hear other people say and that whatever, goes towards their belief. So learn how to be open-minded and have all the evidence before you make a opinion. And when whatever opinion you do have, make sure you have the claims to back it up.
To the people that supported you, Tucker Carlson, he comes out and he says on Full Send podcast, first of all, he's really smart. Yeah. The spirit that animates Andrew Tate is very clear and very obvious, and it's not a malicious spirit at all. Andrew Tate's core message is respect for yourself, act like you're worth something, achieve something, do something, get the fuck off the couch, put down the porn, go do something with your life. That's the greatest message that anyone could give. It tells you everything about the people in charge who say that's threatening.
Hopefully
what is that threatening? The same people who live on the pedo island with Epstein and the same people that were friends with Harvey Weinstein were claiming to protect women by rebuking Tate. That's Tucker Carlson. Piers Morgan, who originally, when he went on, it was very combative.
Correct.
It was a very good interview, entertaining, but it was also interesting to see him trying to push you. And then he flips and he says, this is getting ridiculous. Romanian authorities must either charge him and his brother if they have actual evidence of crimes or release them. Musk obviously supported by restoring your account like this. Jake Shields said people are freaking out about young boys looking up to Andrew Tate, but totally fine with young girls looking up to Cardi B and the Kardashians. And obviously, Aiden Ross, Red Pill community, Joe Rogan. I can go on and on and on about a lot of things that's being said. We watched the BBC interview, and we'll talk about BBC here in a minute because I have some questions on that as well. But the first thing I want to ask you is, 9 months, where we were at then, September, to where we are today, a lot's changed. How do you feel with everything that's going on? And tell us a little bit about your current state today.
Yeah, there's a very strange sense of terror that comes from knowing exactly what's going to happen to you. There's a strange sense of calm that comes from it also, but in the middle of the night, when you can't sleep, sometimes you feel happy knowing what they're trying to do to you, and sometimes you feel terrified knowing what they're trying to do to you. I think I'm very happy. Every single podcast I did previous to this, I hammered the point home, and I made it very clear that they had the intention of trying to put me in jail. I said, there's 3 lives. They try and cancel you and slander you and destroy your name.
Which they've tried.
They don't just want you to disappear from the internet. They want you to disappear from the internet in a cloud of shame. They have to shame you, which is why they chose the crimes they did for me, and it's why they usually choose the crimes they choose, because it's heinous. They want to shame you, and they want you to disappear with your head facing the ground and never pop up again. Obviously, they attempted to cancel me. I became more famous than ever before. I even said to you on your podcast, and I said on other podcasts, I said, I think they made a mistake. I think when you have power and you overuse it, what happens is a rebellion. That's how a revolution starts. When you have power, you have to be very, very careful with how you use that power. The second you overuse it,
it is actually funny. That is exactly what happened. Like, they tried to cancel him. It backfired. He got more popular than ever. Then out of nowhere, the man goes to jail. He gets kidnapped in the middle of the night. Everybody's scrambling their heads like, yo, what's going on? What did he do? What they are charging him with? What's the evidence for what you're trying to charge him with? Are the charges formally brought upon him? And then he's released 92 days later. And one thing he says that I definitely agree with is when someone that has too much power tries to do something and it backfires on them, they are not going to say, oh, let me stop. No, they're gonna say, wow, you just embarrassed me. You gonna embarrass me in front of me and my people? And they're gonna go even harder. But let's keep going.
Revolution, and we're in Romania, so they know all about that. That's exactly what happens. And I said at the time, I think I was a mistake. I think they made a big mistake canceling me the
mistake.
way they did. And then the second time, the second life, which I described as they try and put you in jail for no reason. Here we are in the current scenario. I knew it was going to happen. And the third one is they put a bullet in your head. So we're going to have to see how the second life plays out. And yeah, I mean, when this is all over and I win the court case and I get the not guilty, I won't be smiling. I'll be walking out the courtroom with my head on a swivel. That's the kind of life I'm living now. I'm going to be thinking, oh, okay, so their second attempt failed. Now what? Like, do I want to fly private anymore? Do I want to go that place anymore? You start to think about these things. Like, do I want to do these things? A lot of billionaires dying in plane crashes. It's strange. So it's scary, regardless of how it plays out. And I guess you just have to go with the punches and see where it lands. And God has a plan for me and for all.
Me personally, I'm a person that works great under pressure. I love challenge. I love everything about it. Sometimes it gives me a headache, but I love it. That's what come with the game. To be in his position, honestly, is a real terrifying thing. Because if they already went forward with falsifying charges and everything like that, and now you have to worry about people killing you, where's the fun in that? And this is the worst part about it, though. The worst thing anybody can create is a martyr. Why? Because if you go ahead and execute him, do you know how many people is supporting this man? How many people will rise up and continue to push the same beliefs that he pushed? So I'm pretty sure they're going to want to tiptoe whoever's, I don't know who they is. I know there are powers to be, there are people that holds great influence, there are people that is, managing and doing all these attacks. I don't know who it is. It gotta be because I can see it with my eyes. But they obviously know they have to be careful because if they create a martyr out of this man, whatever they try to stop him from doing will become inevitable.
And we're just going to see how it ends up.
Full disclosure, you don't have any suicidal thoughts.
I want to make it very clear, and I make it clear on absolutely every single podcast I would.
Same thing they did with Jeffrey Epstein.
I don't care what they say. I don't care what video they show you. Never under any circumstance would I kill myself. It's haram. Never. I don't care if they put me back in the dungeon, solitary confinement by myself for the rest of my human years. I would never kill myself, ever, ever. So if that ever happens, God forbid, do not believe whatever garbage they tell you. The chance of me killing myself is precisely zero.
And you had this complete level of certainty that this is exactly how it would play out. You've said this on umpteen podcasts that this is their agenda.
They have to damage my influence. They have to damage my influence. They can't sit there and let me be influential because I'm saying things that they don't like me saying. And there are people sitting around going, he's saying things counter to our message and counter to our narrative. Get rid of him. And they have a pretty standardized playbook. And this is probably one of the first times in history where their playbook just isn't working. Cancel him. He's still around. Oh, well, lie about him in the news. Just say he touches chicks. Well, no one believes it. Oh, all the comments are on his side. Everyone's calling us liars. Okay, then do it again. Then do it again. Make up a new girl. Then do it again. Find someone else. Yeah. And they keep attacking me with the same weapons, but the bullets are bouncing off. And that doesn't give me a sense of calm. That doesn't make me think, ha, 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 I'm invincible. It makes me think, uh-oh. It makes me think, uh-oh, because human life is cheap at the top. It's very cheap.
Does it make you want to sit on the sidelines and be quiet and just kind of live a life with your family, your kids? Does it make you want to do that? Maybe all these attention is actually not a good thing.
It's interesting because sometimes I analyze myself and think, why don't I just do that? Why don't I just disappear? I don't need money. I don't need fame. Why don't I just disappear? And then you have to, I was saying this to my brother, and he was like, well, Genghis Khan didn't need Vienna. Some people are just wired that way. Like, Vienna's a long way from Kathmandu. Sometimes that's just the way it is, or Ulaanbaatar, I apologize, the capital of Mongolia. That's just the way some people are. If I see injustice, and if I see things which I believe to be false, I feel like I am obligated to say the truth. I can't explain why, even if at my own detriment. What am I doing this for? Like, it's to the detriment of my...
That is how change come about. All it takes is one person put their foot down and says, between life and death, I don't care. This is wrong. This is right. And this is what I will stand for. Now, obviously, he can take the easy way out. He can stop inspiring, young men, which is his core audience, being a better version of themselves, being more accountable and things like that. And if you guys realize what is going on in society, they are going after life and men. Everything that you can speak against nowadays that's, become politically or socially acceptable goes against the masculinity of men, or it goes against life. For example, LGBTQ. Everything they go against is against life. Why? Two men, two women cannot create life. Pro-abortion. Everything they go against life. They're trying to kill off life. Now, when it comes to the men, they're telling men that you don't have to be masculine. You don't have to be a leader. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. Let a woman do it, right? If you realize there's only certain areas they're encouraging women to do. You don't see them going on podcasts or the media and telling women, oh, you can do just the same thing men do. Why don't you go become a bricklayer? Why don't you become more a construction worker? Why don't you go in the sewer and do this and do that? They're not telling you that. The only thing that they're influencing women to be is in positions of power, not in grunt work, nothing like that, because we don't need women getting their hands dirty because they still hold those type of views. So,
and I've had these conversations at length with the people close to me.
Somebody got to do it.
And we're all saying the same thing. It's always been the same way. Humanity's always been the same way. There's been a select, small, few good men up against evil. And evil always outnumbers you. Evil always has more money than you.
The
They
heart
always
of
have
man
more
is
power and more
desperately
influence than you.
wicked.
Look at, you play any video game. When you get to the end boss, he always has more life than you. He always has more hit points. But you're the good guy. And it's kind of like, it's never been any different. At any point in human history, there's been the good guys up against the forces of evil, whatever they were of the time. And you've always been outnumbered, and you've always been supposed to lose.
So you consider yourself the good guy in this situation?
I think that truth is instilled by God in all of us, and I think if you tell the truth, you're a good person.
So who do you think is the bad guy? You know, everyone uses they, them, they're after me. Who's they?
exactly
Who's
what I was
the bad
saying.
Uh, Well, instead of saying who, I will say, what I will start by saying is what they do. And what they do is they control information. And we now live in an information society, and by controlling
Information is the biggest, most expensive thing on planet Earth. Oh, I would say inexpensive because it has such a value to it. People are willing to pay whatever, right? The biggest companies in the world, what do they focus on? Data. Why? Because data is a language of its own. It speaks to you. It tells you what is what. It don't tell you opinions. It tells you the truth. So whoever is controlling all this narrative, whoever is controlling whatever, best believe they're controlling the information that people are receiving, which is why they're able to chop certain things up. They're able to put A in front of your eyesight, but you missed B, so now you missed the complete picture. So I don't know who it is, but best believe that's what they're able to do.
information, they control how people think and act and react to things. That's all they have to do. They have to control information, and they have to be
Control
very
information.
selective with what they allow you to talk about and what they allow you to discuss and what they don't. And once they can do that, they can keep you bickering about garbage, and they can control the sensitive information, and then they run the world. So having all the information controlled and having this hard barrier on what can be discussed, that's how they can purport absolute fallacies. I think now it's been a couple years, we can probably talk about it. They psyoped the world into believing they should be afraid of the common cold. They psyoped the world into this. And if you think about how difficult that would be to do, how difficult would it be to psyop the entire population of Earth? Well, what you do is you just lie on repeat, and you don't allow anyone to say anything counter to it without hurting them the same way I've been hurt. And you just psyop them. It's actually amazing because now I use that exact same psyop on people. I love it. I love it. So when I sit with someone who's not matrix-minded, when I sit with someone who is matrix-minded, like when the BBC walked in here, I'm like, do you all have your vaccinations? Social distancing.
Did you actually?
100%. Social distancing, please. And they look at me like I'm crazy. Well, how am I crazy? 2 years ago, you were telling me to do this. Now when I repeat your own words to you, I'm crazy. Well, if I'm crazy, guess what? You're a fucking liar because you lied the whole time. So either you're
Now, all of a sudden, when you use someone else's logic against them, now it's, oh no, it ain't it.
or I'm not. You know, how could I be nuts? Put your fucking mask on. If I ever talk to any of these clowns again, they're going to be fully masked up. And I refuse. I don't care if you've had 2 booster jabs. No, I want all 6. All 6 injections. I want paperwork. Or get
Or you're
fucked.
not coming in the house.
Get them up. I'm scared of COVID. It's dangerous. I believe the mainstream media. I'm scared.
This word you keep using, psyop, I've never heard this word. It's short for psychological operations?
Correct.
Break that down. What exactly is a psyop?
Yeah, a psyop is the matrix as a whole. It's like psychological operations are constant. They constantly decide how they want you to think and what they can do to make you believe that, right? There's a whole bunch of them they do. But it starts with tolerance. That's what I don't like about this whole guise of tolerance. It's not that I'm an intolerant person. It's not that I'm a bad person. It's not that I want to hurt other people. But when they keep pushing tolerance, what they're trying to say is have no standards or barriers or parameters for anything. That's what they want.
Facts. Tolerance is a dangerous thing because once you become a very tolerant person, then you allow anything. There is nothing these people will not be able to get you to agree upon. Now, this is the beginning of the interview. I'm going to keep this short. This is just the intro of what's been going on, who agrees with him, who disagrees with him, whatever the case may be, what people have to say, and everything like that. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe to this video, as there will be more reaction videos to Andrew Tate's interview. It's a 4-hour-long video. I will only be focusing on the most important conversations because a lot of times they get sidetracked. So again, like and subscribe this video channel as we talk about anything, everything, hence the name. We talk about what's talked about now, whether it's politically, socially, talk about majority of finance, because one thing I like to do is help people get money. So like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you agree with Andrew Tate. If you disagree, why or why not. See you next time. Peace.